All right, this morning, a very real conversation, an important one, is happening across the country, not only about political rhetoric and its real world consequences, but also about the role of journalists and the media.
In the wake of these pipe bombs targeting Trump critics, as well as this network, the president is now blaming the media for the anger behind this. And society saying, in part, it's caused by purposely false and inaccurate reporting of the mainstream media, which every time I hear that phrase, I will just fact check and say false. We report the news, and we do our best to every day. Here with us now is CNN Business media correspondent and host of Reliable Sources, Brian Stelter. You know the blame conversation. First of all, the turn. How long did it take after the moment yesterday, as we streamed out onto the streets here under police protection with a functioning explosive device in this building? Did the conversation from the president and his supporters turn to, there goes the liberal media again?
Yeah, they're actually playing the victim card, engaging in victimhood politics, saying that because people are talking about how Trump's rhetoric is a problem, that somehow he's being blamed for these bombs, and as a result, he's the victim of this. Look, it's nonsense. What I'm wondering, Jim and Poppy, is where's the president? Where's the president today? Because that guy on Twitter, that's a Fox News host. That guy rallying against the media, that's a Fox News host. That's not the president.
So, Brian,
the president hasn't shown leadership in the last few hours. He did say some nice things yesterday, but then he turned around and wrote against the media again.
So, Brian, sorry to jump in, but we just have some sound from the White House that I want to get our viewers to this morning. Addressing exactly that. Our Abby Phillip was able to catch up with Sarah Sanders, the White House spokeswoman. So, what did she say?
Yeah, Poppy. So we spoke to Sarah Sanders about that exact question today, specifically asking her about something the president said last night. He said that people should stop calling their political opponents morally deficient. But as we know, President Trump has done exactly that, calling his political opponents evil. Here's what Sarah Sanders had to say about that.
But do you believe that the president bears any responsibility for what we've seen over the past 2 days? And does he regret any of the comments that he's made about his opponents? Or does he at least regret the tone that he's taken?
Look, the president's condemned violence in all forms, has done that since day one, will continue to do that, but certainly feels that everyone has a role to play.
He's calling for peace and harmony and a civil tone. Is he going to stop insulting his political opponents at his rallies? He called Maxine Waters low IQ. He's called Joe Biden someone pulled off a trash heap. He said Hillary Clinton is crooked Hillary. Is he going to stop insulting the people who received these bombs?
Look, the president's going to continue to lay out the contrast between Democrats and Republicans. And if you'll let me finish, I'll answer it for you, but I'd like to finish my sentence. The president is going to continue to lay out the case and the differences between Democrats and Republicans. Americans have a choice to make, and he's going to lay that out, and you're going to see him do that over the next 12 days.
Is he going to stop the insults, Sarah? Is he going to stop the insults?
Trump said last night that people need to stop criticizing their opponents as morally deficient. A few weeks ago, he said the Democrats who opposed Kavanaugh were evil. Does he regret that statement?
The president feels like we should call out despicable acts, which is exactly what he has done over the last 24 hours. The idea that
the way to describe people in the political sphere.
I'm sorry?
Is evil an appropriate way to describe
It's a word that
people
people have used on your network a number of times, not only to describe the president, but many people that work in this administration. Absolutely. Day in, day out, there is a negative tone. 90% of the media attention around this president is negative, despite historic job creation, despite the fact that our economy is booming, despite the fact that trade deals that everybody said couldn't be made have been made, despite the fact that the president is trying to install law and order at our border and protect the security of Americans from the East Coast to the West Coast, North and South. You guys continue to focus only on the negative, and there is a role to play. Yesterday, the very first thing that the president did was come out and condemn the violence. The very first thing your network did was come out and accuse the president of being responsible for it. That is not okay. The first thing should have been to condemn the violence.
Okay.
What the press secretary of the White House just said there is not true. It's not the first thing we did as this happened. We reported the news, in fact, and Poppy and I can attest to that because we were on the air live reporting the news as it happened. We're going to have a moment to digest a lot of charges coming from Sarah Sanders there.